All right, I think we will go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to the Draft Environmental Impact Assessment, EIA meeting for the UW-Milwaukee Chemistry Building project. I will start with a quick team introduction. On the call with us, we have Karen Wolfert from UW-Milwaukee. We have Mara Donnelly with UW System Administration. We have David Hoffman with DFDM. I am Allison Cuny, and we also have Brian Schneider with Grafe. And then lastly, we have Kobe Shia with the design team. So the audio and the names of attendees for this meeting will be recorded for our files. And if you have any questions or comments, please keep those until the end. There's a question and chat box. You could use either one of those or raise your hand and I can unmute at the end. So the main purpose of today's meeting is to present a summary of environmental impacts. And we will do this through the WEPA process overview, project purpose and need, project description, budget and schedule, and the potential impacts of this project. So starting with the WEPA process, WEPA is the Wisconsin Environmental Policy Act, and it is used to identify potential positive and negative impacts as they relate to the project. And it's also used to solicit public input. The project will also follow the UW system guidelines, which were adopted by the UW Board of Regents. As it relates to our project, the scoping letter was sent out September 1st. The draft EIA and the comment period both started September 21st. Today, October 12th, is the public meeting and the end of the comment period. And the final EIA report and record of decision will be November 2020. The availability notice was published in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel on September 21st. Copies of the EIA have also been available since September 21st at local libraries and as well as online at our website. And I'll keep this up for a couple seconds if anybody wants to write that down. So moving on to the purpose and need of this project. The existing chemistry building was built in 1972 and is approaching the end of its useful life. It's beyond renovation for wet lab use, and issues with the building include threat of architecture, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing system failures that could result in safety concerns. There's been over 40 plus years of use, which has caused degradation of conditions in the wet lab, teaching and research space, and current configuration of the teaching labs result in poor sightlines, which reduces the class sizes and access for students. The replacement building will ensure continuity of chemistry instruction and research with energy efficient systems and updated instructional and research laboratories, classrooms, lecture halls, offices, and collaboration spaces. And the new chemistry building will provide state-of-the-art facilities for modern instruction, will support and enhance fundamental research and scientific innovation, and connect researchers, students, and the community through science. Moving to the project description, here is the layout. To the south in the bold red line is the proposed location for the chemistry building. And to the north with the dashed line is the current existing chemistry building. The proposed chemistry building includes an 89,300 square foot building. It will be 4 stories with a basement and mechanical penthouse. The construction will also include extending the utility services to the new building site. And the project is also anticipated to demolish the 88,065 square foot existing chemistry building. So the next couple of slides are renderings of the proposed project, so I'll slowly slide through those. And the floor layouts. These are also included in the draft document, so they are available on our website if you want to take a closer look at them. So moving on to the project budget. The estimated project budget is $129,535,000. That's funded through general fund supported borrowing. The replacement building is estimated to cost $118,100,000, and the remaining funds are targeted to be used for the demolition of the old chemistry building. The project schedule. The A&E selection for the new chemistry building was December 2018, and the demolition is scheduled for January 2022. The design concept report submittal for the new chemistry building will be in February, and for demo, January 2023. The design report submittal for the new chemistry building will be this month. The authority to construct for the new chemistry building will be December, and for demo, April 2023. The bid date for the new chemistry building is July 2021, and for demolition will be July 2025. Construction will start for the new chemistry building September 2021, and the demolition will begin September 2025. And completion for the new chemistry building will be September 2023 and July 2027 for the demolition. And then occupancy for the new chemistry building will be December 2023 and January 2028 for demolition. So potential impacts, we look at physical, biological, social and cultural, economic, and archaeological and historical environments. So starting with the physical environment, there are no long-term adverse impacts expected as a result of this project. The project will remove the existing parking lot, and the new building will have 10 short-term parking drive drop-off lane and a loading dock located at the west end of the building. Anyone looking for longer-term parking will be redirected to other campus parking lots. And there will be about 2 semi-truck deliveries per month and 1 to 2 smaller vehicle deliveries per day. Temporary short-term lane closures will be needed on Kenwood Boulevard during the construction. Hazardous materials will be abated prior to the demolition of the existing chemistry building. And lastly, the demolition of the existing chemistry building will create waste to the extent that cannot be recycled. For the biological environment, there are no adverse biological impacts expected. The construction area is composed of pavement, other impervious surfaces, and mowed grass. Air quality will minimally be impacted by dust during the construction. An erosion control plan will be included in construction documents to meet the Wisconsin DNR code requirements and will be enforced during construction. Water quality impacts and construction dust will be controlled through the use of construction best management practices. And site restoration and landscaping will be conducted in the areas disturbed by building demolition. As for the social and cultural impacts, the existing chemistry building would have required intense renovation work to almost completely replace the building mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. And the existing facility could not be occupied during these renovations. By constructing a new updated facility, collaboration will flow better with an updated layout. A new building will reduce the delay in research because of ventilation issues in the current building, and it will potentially jumpstart research needs at the university. The program space in the new building will be flexible and adaptive and will allow for future expansion and change. And lastly, it will support research excellence to maintain the R1 classification and will provide teaching innovation. Now to the economic impacts, there will be a one-time financial commitment. The cost of operating the new building will be similar to the old building costs, as they are similar in size. And any increase in annual operating and maintenance costs will end as soon as the current chemistry building is demolished. The project is estimated to stimulate the local economy during construction by approximately $226 million through employment, purchase of supply, and services. And lastly, the archaeological and historical environments concerns are not anticipated as the site has previously been developed. So in closing, the final EIA will be available at the local libraries and online on our website. I'll keep this slide up for a couple of seconds again if anybody wants to write it down. The comment period ends today for inclusion into the final EIA. So you can either email me at the email listed or through the comment or question function of this meeting. And with that, we will open it up to any questions. So I'm going to unmute Thomas. He has a question.
Hello.
Hello.
Is it possible to see my questions or not?
Let's see.
I have quite a few. I have actually 6 questions.
Okay. Do you want to just verbally ask them? We can go through one by one.
If you want to read them off, that would be fine too.
Okay, let's see. Okay, here they are. So the first one is, will additional enter and exit traffic entrances be added on Kenwood Boulevard? And Karen or Dave, are you able to answer that?
Sure, I can answer that. Actually, if you want to go back to that above sort of the bird's eye view. So as she's going there, we'll be removing the current drive for the parking, and there will be a short-term drop-off. Actually, why don't you go forward to the new building? Oh,
Let's
right
start.
there. Right there, that's good. So currently there's one lane that goes into a parking lot. That will be removed. And then this short-term drop-off lane will go in with the new building. So I guess you could say going from 1 to 2, entrance, exit from the Kenwood Boulevard.
So it's an
Karen,
additional,
Karen, this is Maura. Isn't that drop off, isn't it going to be one way?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So there's one entrance and then the exit is also combined with the loading dock. So it's looks like there's going to be the same amount that there is now, curb cuts.
Yeah, there's technically one right now that goes into parking, and in the future there will be these two and the loading dock. So,
But go back to the original because it looks like there's two curb cuts in the area. I don't know what the other one goes to. The existing site plan. Looks like two curb cuts, one going into the parking lot and one going out.
that's for the physics building, right? So that
That's the
remains,
loading dock.
it's right next to the physics building. That will stay there because that will be our fire lane access, and it combines with the loading dock of the new building.
Okay.
So no change in that. And as far as the loading dock for the new building, basically using the same curb cut. The other one that's further to the east, that's the one that will go away and be replaced by that one-way drive drop-off lane for the new building. Does that take care of your question, Tom?
well, the old entrance that went into the parking lot between the physics building and the grassy area, is that entrance going to be gone? Where will the entrance be into that parking lot?
Yeah, it's kind of the exit, that old parking lot entrance is about the same location of the exit of the drive through drop-off lane.
So it seems like less traffic because you won't have that 80 stalls of parking, correct? Isn't that correct to assume that you're just going to only have the drop off?
That's correct. There are only going to be 10 drop-off spots, and that's all short-term. So yeah, there'll be a lot less cars on Kenwood Boulevard looking for parking spots in the parking lot that's there now, because they'll all be redirected over to the Cunningham lot, the Northwest Quad parking lot, and the Pavilion parking ramp. Trying to see if we're getting at the question that you have, Tom, and make sure we give you the information you need.
Well, I'm still not understanding with those additional parking spaces, how are they going to enter in like they used to?
That parking lot goes away with the construction of this building, if that's what you're asking about.
Yes, what's presently there now.
Yeah, that's completely gone in the future. No more parking lot in the future. Just a
Okay.
drive lane that has 10 spaces for drop off. Do you want to go to that other?
Okay, I guess that answered my question. Thanks.
Yeah, right there. So the chemistry building is basically sitting in the location of the current parking lot. So that parking lot will be gone.
Okay, so you'll have, you said 10 parking spaces for immediate on that building?
Yes, 10 drop-off spaces. I don't know, Allison, if you can show the cursor. Probably can't see mine. Yeah, right there. So that is a drop-off lane, and
Yep.
there'll be 10 spaces there, and that's it. So the other 80 plus that are currently in that location, they'll be redirected to other parking locations on campus.
I see. Okay. Well, I guess continue with the rest of my questions, please.
Yep, so the second one was, will there be a drive up to entrance on Kenwood?
So that was answered.
That was answered, okay. And then, will there be additional enter and exit entrances on North Kramer Street?
No, we're not doing anything on Kramer Street at all with this project.
Okay.
So somewhere down the line, we'll be demolishing the chemistry building, but there is a driveway there that serves the EMS building and the chemistry building, so that will remain when the demolition occurs. We won't be eliminating that drive.
Okay.
All right, the next question, will there be any power substation electrical systems set up on a surface lot with this project?
So in the front of the building, again, if you can use your cursor to go over to the west end of the new building where there's those two boxes sitting in a fence, keep going over, too far, right about there. Just went past it.
Oh, right here, yep.
Yep, and so that's not a substation, but there will be an emergency generator in that location, and it will have a fence that's completely around it, enclosing it. The substation for this building is actually an existing substation, and it is north of the EMS building.
Yes, I know where it is. It's underground.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was my question, because I was worried that we were going to have another problem with another substation being built on the surface, which we did not want in the neighborhood.
Right, so we had, when that substation was built, it was planned for additional capacity, and we won't even be filling all of it. With this project, we're using what's already in place. We'll be adding some additional to what's sitting there right now, but we're not building out the entire substation. It's still planned for additional space in the future. There are projects that are planned at the corner, which you're probably aware of if you've been following our master plan, somewhere in the future when the physics building is done, and that's quite a few years out yet.
Yeah.
All right, the next question, will additional car lights be shielded from Kenwood Boulevard homes?
I'd say the car lights that you will notice won't be additional, probably be less, because it's only going to be the exit out of that short-term drop-off lane. I don't think you'll be getting car lights as they go in, but as they come out, and that lane is sort of close to the intersection. Well, it's probably about the same location as that entrance to the parking lot right now, but you'll be seeing a lot few. You'll be seeing fewer cars than you do right now.
Okay, I guess that answers the question.
All right, and then the last question, what is long-term plan for the old building site? Will there be an additional building on that site?
So the old chemistry building, our current plans are, and it's probably the long term, knowing that we have something going on the corner. So long term is to take it down and leave it as green space. So we're kind of doing a trade-off in where we have open space on campus. So we plan for the new building and take the other one down so that we can have green space there. I don't see anything else happening in the very long term, you know, and we're probably planned out for the next 50 years or so.
Okay, that sounds great.
Tom,
As far as,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's about as far as any of our predictions can go. It's probably even further than that. So thank you for your questions.
Oh, you're welcome. But I live in the neighborhood, so I'm always curious to see what's going on, so how it impacts our neighborhood.
Yeah, very happy to have you join the meeting. I'm not too far away from the university myself, so I completely understand.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right, are there any other questions? You can either use the raise your hand function or enter them into the chat or question box. I'm not currently seeing anything in there. All right, any other comments from the panelists?
Nope.
Nothing for me.
Thank you, nothing.
I just would like to thank everyone who's joined us. This is Karen from UWM. I really appreciate you and your interest in what we're doing at UWM. We always want to be good neighbors, so we look forward to your input. Thanks again.
And with that, we will conclude the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.